Hello, following the last video, in this video I'm going to show you how to download and install OpenFOAM and GAD-CFD onto your computer following the installation guide. So you can find the installation guide either by clicking on this button here, or click on Wiki and then click on Installation Guide. So GAD-CFD model is actually an add-on for OpenFOAM 6.0. So in theory, you will have to install OpenFOAM 6.0 first, and then compile GAD-CFD against the OpenFOAM libraries. We've provided a script for you to download and install OpenFOAM 6.0 and set up the configuration files necessary for the GAD-CFD model to install and run properly. Okay, so once the OpenFOAM 6.0 has been installed properly, you can then follow these instructions here to compile GAD-CFD against OpenFOAM 6.0. So now let's open up Ubuntu and try to follow these instructions to install OpenFOAM and GAD-CFD. Okay, so it says here, before the installation of OpenFOAM and GAD-CFD, make sure you update and upgrade Ubuntu by running these two commands. So let's do that. Control+C and then paste by right-click your mouse and then enter. Right, so I have to give Ubuntu my password. Okay, so it's found 3 packages that needs to be upgraded. Now let's run this. Yes. Okay, now so my Ubuntu is updated and upgraded. The next step is to download this script to your computer by clicking on it. Now let's open the folder it's downloaded to. Right, let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now we can see that this script has been downloaded to my Windows system, to one of the folders under my Windows system. So the next thing we need to do is to navigate to this Windows folder from the Ubuntu terminal. Here we can use this command here to do the navigation. But here we can see that this path here is actually a little bit different from the path under the Windows system. The first thing to notice is that it's got an extra bit in front of the path that says MNT. So basically you can see this extra bit as a switch that tells Ubuntu to switch to the path under the Windows system instead of using the path under the Linux system. The other difference is after users, here you can see that it says username in general, whereas in this path it's actually my own username. So when you use this command, you have to make sure that you replace this username with your own username. Okay, so let's copy, paste, and then change username to my own username. Right, so here you can see that now we are in this folder. Now let's use ls to see what's in this folder. So we can see a new folder and the script, which is exactly the same as the files and the folders in this folder. So we know that we're actually in this folder. Okay, so the next thing to do is to copy this script to the home directory of Ubuntu. Right, by using this command here. So now let's copy and paste. Okay, and then go back to the home directory of Ubuntu by running cd. Okay, so now we are at the home directory, and here we can see that this script has been copied to the home directory. Now we have to run this script as root by using this command. Now let's copy and paste, and then run it by pressing the enter key. Right, so here we can see that the script is doing a lot of things. This seems like it's downloading and installing OpenFOAM 6. So this might take quite a while. So what I will do is I will pause the recording and then come back when this is finished, and then we'll carry on with the rest of the tutorial. So it seems like the installation of OpenFOAM 6.0 has finished, because it says done here, and I don't see any error messages that's giving me any warnings about failure. So I assume that OpenFOAM 6.0 has been installed properly onto my computer. Now let's follow these instructions to compile the GAD-CFD model. So the first step is to navigate to the home directory by using this command. Okay, let's do that. Copy by pressing Ctrl+C on your keyboard and paste it to the terminal and press enter. Okay, so we are now at the home directory, and now let's add the OpenFOAM bash script to the user.bashrc file. Okay, so I think basically this first command here is to add this bit to the end of the bashrc file. So now if we have a look at the end of the bashrc file using tail.bashrc, right, so here is what we can see. Now let's run this command. And then have a look at the end of the bashrc file again. Here we can see that this line has been added to the end of the bashrc file. That's great. Now let's run the second command. Great. So basically what this second command does is to read this bashrc file and execute the commands in this file. Okay, now the third step is to create the required directory structure. Okay, so let's use ls to see. Right, so at the moment we only have these two files, there is no directory yet. Now let's run this command and then run the second one, and then use ls again. Here we can see that a new directory called OpenFOAM has been created. That's exactly what we did by running these two commands. If we go into the OpenFOAM directory, here we can see that it's got two other directories, applications, and the run, which are created by running these two commands. Okay, let's go back to the home directory and then move on to the fourth step, which is to copy the repository to the application directory. Okay, so the first thing we have got to do is to navigate to the applications directory by running this command. Okay, so now we are in the applications directory, and then let's use ls again to see whether there's anything in there yet. No, there is nothing. Okay, now let's do the copying. Right, so if you have an account set up with SSH keys for access to one theme, then run this one. Unfortunately, I don't have that yet, so we have to go for the second option. Let's do that. Okay, so it's asking me for the username for this repository, which I do have one. And the password as well. Okay, seems like it's worked. Let's use ls again. Yes, so so basically what this command does is to download the files here in this folder to my to this directory we'd created. So I think at the moment the reason we need this username and password is that this repository is not yet publicly available, so you'll probably have to register to be able to execute this step. Okay, let's go back to the installation guide. Right, so the next step is to go to the GAD-CFD source code directory by simply running this command, copy, paste. Okay, so we're in here. Now let's use ls to have a look. Right, so we've got these files and the folder that says make. Right, so basically the files in the make folder will give instructions to the next command, which is wmake, to compile the GAD-CFD model. So let's run wmake. Okay, so it's compiling. I'm not very sure how long it will take, probably not very long. Okay, still doing well. Okay, so I think it's done and there is no error messages. That's great. There are still another step in the instruction, which is to compile the documentation. I think we'll skip this step here, but if you would like to do it, you can do it as well. Okay, so that's probably everything for this tutorial. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to download the tester case and how to run it to test whether OpenFOAM and GAD-CFD has been installed onto your computer properly. See you next time.